DuckTalks is part of Res TV's network of podcasts. Check out res.tv for other great podcasts. It's the week of Wednesday, January 13th, and you're listening to episode 120 of DuckTalks. Oh, and we're back in 2021. 2020 is behind us, and we're ready for some great conversation around Disney Ducks. This is DuckTalks. Thank you for checking us out. If this is the first time you've heard the podcast, we hope you enjoy it, and give us a rating or a like or subscribe or anything like that, and let us know that you enjoyed the podcast. We hope you'll come back and interact with us online. You can check us out over on Twitter at DuckTalks, and always feel free to check out our blog over at ducktalks.com. If you're returning after, months of us not having an episode, thanks for coming back. It's good to be back. It's good to have the microphone in front of me and to have a list of things to talk about, Disney Duck related. My name's Mitch. I'm one of your hosts. Joining me tonight, I have my good pal, Pyre Steven.
Ahoy there, 2021.
2021. You had to write it down. I mean, we're 2 weeks in. Surely you've had to write it down.
I mean, did the audience know what checks are? I had to write a check or two. They have these little piece of paper, and you write the amount, and you hand. It's kind of like handing someone cash, but it's a check. So yeah, I've luckily haven't had to scratch out 20 on any of them. It's been 21.
Yeah, we record dates on our productivity at work, and there's been a few times that I've hit that zero. Went no more zeros. We're into the ones, baby.
We did some fun stuff in 2020, though.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that tonight. That's actually the only topic other than news and duck merch that we have to talk about, because we do not have an episode of DuckTales to discuss. Nothing new. The show will return soon. We think it's possibly happening like the middle of next month, but that's still a rumor. Nothing is concrete. We
know Ben Schwartz recorded his last Dewey Duck lines recently, so that's pretty much the only news we've heard on that situation. But
it's not in our notes, but you're absolutely right. He did tweet that, and a few other people from the cast and crew were talking about it as well. We knew the finale was close to being complete, but it sounds like they had some voice work to continue. And yeah, if Dewey's done, I mean, the show's got to be over, right? He's got to have the last line. I wonder who had the first line, now that I think about it.
You probably had the first line.
No, it was Huey or Donald. Or Louie. It was Louie with Donald's clothes. Anyway, somebody will look that up and let us know, I'm sure. Well, let's try to get back into the swing of things, and let's take a look at some information that we have gathered around the DuckTales community online to talk about. And the first thing we wanted to do was to send out some thanks to a few people. We wanted to shout out to Courtney. Courtney let us know that there was a problem with 119, and that was our interview with Tanner Johnson. Thankfully, Courtney let us know pretty quick that there was an issue, and I was able to go in and resolve it and get that fixed and get it back up. But we wanted to mention it in this episode just in case you don't follow us online and you didn't hear about the issue, because the interview just kind of abruptly ends with nothing at the end. And I think there's like 15 more minutes to that podcast episode. It is available. If your podcatcher did not update with it, you may have to, find the blog post, or that'd probably be the easiest thing to do. Find the blog post. You can listen to the last few minutes of the episode. We wanted to make sure that we said thanks to Courtney for that. And we also wanted to send a shout out to Avery. Avery reached out to us over at Res TV. We are a member of Res TV's family of podcasts. And but over at Res TV, Avery let us know that they listen to the podcast and that they enjoy it, and we might help them get through their school day sometimes. So make sure you're paying attention to your teacher, but it's cool that you're listening. So that's it for the shout outs. The first item in our news that we wanted to point out was we noticed over on Facebook that Terry McGovern is going to be doing a 1 hour segment on a radio station. Now, it's a local radio station in California, I believe, but it will be online. We'll include a link to this. But in his post where he got into some more information about it, he said that it's KPCA.FM or radio.garden, and he said radio.garden is an amazing site. But he said if you check that out, just look for KPCA 103.3, and it's Saturdays 11 to noon, and it's an hour. I'm planning on giving that a listen. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Good to see Terry. I know 2020 Terry had some stuff come up at the end of the year and gave us a little bit of a scare there, but good to see that he's doing well and still doing things that he loves. So I'm looking forward to that. Next item in our news, we have 1 million views on YouTube for Let's Get Dangerous. Let's Get Dangerous was the season 3 episode of DuckTales that told the story of Darkwing Duck, Goslin, and Launchpad and how that team up came together. One of our favorite episodes from the series by far, and great to see over 1 million views. It's taken 2 months to hit that 1 million view mark, and I noticed that it had over 20,000 likes as well. I didn't pay attention to how many unlikes, but that doesn't matter. That episode's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool that they put it on YouTube for people to see for free. 1 million views is a great sign of how popular that episode is. So, like we said, hopefully a Darkwing series comes out of that.
I believe that was the purpose. Hopefully we get some more news on that. We've not talked about that in a while. The Darkwing Duck reboot or spin-off series that may or may not be taking place. Who knows what's going on there? You know, the closer you watch some of this stuff and the more information you get, the more you don't know. There's no telling what's going on. I think it's funny. I've been following this Rebels animated series, that has been talked about for a long time at Lucasfilm, and now there's word coming out that it was completely, they were pretty far in pre-production, and it sounds like it may be over, and it may be a live action series now. So, you never know what could happen. Things could change at any time, which on that front, if you're not a Rebels fan or a Star Wars fan, Mandalorian fan, I'm really excited that Dave Filoni would have an opportunity to do some more live action. But man, I still love. We're in the process of a binge watch right now, but Star Wars animation's good animation in my book. Anyway, next thing in our news items, Mike Peraza, Duck Collection. That's what I have here on the headline. I know what this is, but Pirate, won't you explain it a little bit more?
Yeah, he posted a picture on his Facebook page of him drawing a awesome canvas of Scrooge McDuck, like a portrait style, kind of like you would see in McDuck Manor of Scrooge, like the old Carl Barks style. And he is wearing, it's DuckTales 1987 Scrooge in his blue coat, and it looks extremely nice. And he called this his Duck Collection of items that are going to be appearing or debuting next year. So I do know a lot of ducks that Mike Peraza could draw, and I would sell, and I would buy. So,
Maybe definitely a few loans.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I got walls in my house, so I'm thinking Scrooge and Darkwing. If I'd buy those for sure.
Yeah, Mike's art's amazing, and I had the opportunity to meet Mike and his wife Patty I think it's been over a year now, and they were both amazing. And just having an opportunity to talk with him about, DuckTales and Darkwing Duck was amazing. He's still one of those people that I look forward to having a chance to talk with on this podcast. I think that's going to happen. But the problem is, what do we talk about? I mean, DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop. I mean, from what I've heard, he pretty much saved Goof Troop from a horrible idea. And it became something that was one of my favorite. Well, we always say one of my favorites. We all loved all of the Disney Afternoon, even Bonkers to some extent, even though I still haven't seen it. But one of these days, it's on Disney Plus now. One of these days, looking forward to seeing these. Every time I see Mike drawing, it's always amazing. I love following him online. So now we're moving into more of a duck merch territory on our news, and we've got a few statues coming out. And one of the first things we were going to talk about was all the stuff that's being released by Beast Kingdom.
Yeah, it's crazy. 2021 is definitely a year for you to unwrap the rubber band off of your wallet and get ready to spend, because after years and years and years of begging for more Disney Afternoon merch, you're going to get it this year. All the companies are wise to us now, and they understand and they see us, and we don't have to ask for it anymore because they know that Disney Afternoon is cool, and they want money, so they want our money. So they're producing some nice stuff, and we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff you can see in 2021, starting with Beast Kingdom, which is an amazing figure and statue company, and they have a bunch of Disney Afternoon stuff coming out this year. Starting with, I believe in February, there's this Disney Classic mini egg collection that they're going to be selling. It's a set of 8 mini figures, statues of different classic Disney characters, and some of them include Scrooge McDuck, Donald Duck, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and a Chip and a Dale, Rescue Rangers Chip and Dale. And then there's other characters, Dumbo, Pinocchio, and Stitch, but we'll focus on the good ones. They're all good, but it's cool to have Scrooge McDuck and the boys and Donald and Chip and Dale. So that's something that's coming out. And there's also another product they have called the D Stage, which is a little 6-inch figure, and this one is very it's a statue, and it's very detailed and has Scrooge McDuck and Huey, Dewey, and Louie sailing the ship full around all this gold and treasure. And that one retails for like $30 something. Something definitely cool. And when I see something like that on the market, I go, well, what's really going to be cool when they add something to it? It's like when a Darkwing one comes out, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and so on with the Disney Afternoon. But it's really cool that they know they have the DuckTales license and they're producing stuff. So that's 2 products for Beast Kingdom, and I think they have 4 that we're going to talk about really quickly. But we're going to be bringing this stuff up all year because this is stuff you definitely want to have. The next thing is a more pricier item, which is a Scrooge McDuck figure, which looks like it stands almost 3 feet tall. And it's classic DuckTales Scrooge, and he's all posed with his money and his number 1 dime. And this one retails for $250. Like I said, this is a higher end collectible, but we're talking about a large statue that you can have to find room for. But if you have, it's going to be pretty darn cool and in your collection. So that's coming out in August. The D Stage I previously talked about is also August. But the cool thing about these large statues it's called the Mastercraft series, and they have a couple of Disney ones. They remind me of, if you ever went to like the classic Disney store of the 1990s, they would have all these huge figures on the top as part of like the display and decorations. That's what these remind me of, and I think that's a cool memory of a cool time.
So have you made a spot for this 3 foot tall figure yet?
I mean, I've already got it in my head. It's going to be somewhere in my house, but my kids eventually will turn 18 and move out, so I'll have room at some point. But I need to have it. They also previously had last year or the year before, they had a Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers in the same Mastercraft series. So, again, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, they did Chip and Dale. They're doing Scrooge. So it's Darkwing next, it's Launchpad. Who knows?
Now,
save some room, save some money.
They do have some Darkwing Duck stuff coming out with the dynamic action heroes or 8 action heroes.
Dynamic action figures. It is going to be a new Darkwing Duck figure. We were thinking that Super 7 was going to release a Darkwing Duck in the Disney Ultimate series, which would be amazing.
I still hope that happens.
Yeah, Beast Kingdom has some pretty nifty action figures, and this deluxe collection is highly articulated. It kind of reminds me of the Hero Cross high-end figures. With the articulation and such, and this is going to be like somewhere between 6 and 8 inches, and I can't wait to have more Darkwing Duck stuff. And this is his 30th anniversary, so there's this figure coming out. Maybe we'll get a Mastercraft or a D stage as well for Darkwing, but I love that they're getting Beast Kingdom's cranking out all this merchandise that we're going to gobble up.
And speaking of figures, I think this came out today, this news, with the QMX. What did we say that was? Quantum Mechanics?
Yeah, Quantum Mechanics announced this week that they would have a couple of new figures, and they're actually called Q-Figs. And they sell them a lot at comic book stores, and a lot of online retailers have them, such as Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store, etc. And they're like really detailed, nice, affordable figures. And luckily for us, again, as Disney Afternoon fans of the Disney Afternooniverse, they announced that they're going to have a Darkwing Duck one, and he is on a duck gargoyle type thing in full display, and it's only $19.99.
Which blew my mind.
$19.99, I know, right? And it's coming out in the spring, which is even greater because sometimes you find a company announce something and then it takes forever to get out. So hopefully it will still be released in spring, but as of the announcement yesterday, we're getting Darkwing Duck, which is very cool figure to have in this line.
And it's an amazing looking figure.
It is. It comes in a little stand, black and purple, like pedestal type. Is that what it's called? Probably.
Yeah, but I think it was supposed to be like a gargoyle.
Yeah, it's a gargoyle, but in the Duck universe, the gargoyle is a duck.
Is a duck. Yeah, imagine that. I just realized as you were saying this that they did those recent Ninja Turtle Q-Figs. And I've seen those in my local comic shop. I'm going to have to talk to... I know I checked already. You cannot pre-order the Darkwing Duck yet, but you can get on a email list for when it is going to be available. They're going to let you know. I'll probably let my local shop know and get that through him. I know he could use the business right now with everything that's been going on this year in the industry.
Yeah, you definitely seen Q-Figs before.
Yeah, those turtles are pretty cool.
The name, but they produce several. I mean, they have so many licenses and characters that they've made these for. Into the Spider-Verse ones look great too. Those are some other recent ones I've seen, but
they also Sanderson sisters.
Yeah, they just started their Disney line, so they're going to crank these out. And Hocus Pocus was actually the first one they did, and that a couple of them that they call their Elite series are exclusive to the Disney store. And they say Disney parks. I've never seen them at a Disney park, but you can get them in Shop Disney, these Elite ones. And they have Hocus Pocus as a Toy Story one with Buzz and Woody, and a Fantasia one with Sorcerer Mickey and the brooms and all these water effects that look really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
There's also the Sleeping Beauty, the Maleficent as the dragon, which is exclusive to Walmart. I hope none of these Disney Afternoon ones are exclusive to Walmart, because those are so hard. Walmart exclusives are just nightmares. Yeah. But also announced today they are going to do a Gargoyles collection. So this isn't just a one-off or two-off release. They're going to do a Gargoyles collection of different characters from that series, which is so popular. And it's so cool that the first two that are going to be released is Goliath and Demona. And each one is going to have its own figure. Again, $19.99. It's totally affordable. And they're, of course, going to make the rest of the Gargoyles, I'm sure. And, these are going to look really good on the shelf.
Have we said how tall this is?
We haven't said, but Darkwing is going to be around approximately 5 inches.
Okay. And
the Gargoyles are going to be 6 inches.
Man, that Darkwing, I've been looking through it at various Q figs, and they have like really distinct proportions. It's kind of like, to name another collectible, Funko has distinct proportions, and I've seen that on a lot of Q figs. This Darkwing doesn't seem to have that. I mean, it's a pretty on model Darkwing statue. It's pretty rad. I like it. We'll include a link to our latest blog about it. And we are on the mailing list to find out more information. We've spoken with QFig and let them know that we're interested in promoting it and talking about it, because we know a lot of you will want this figure because we want this figure. And so we'll be talking
pre-order
about it.
Should be available on their social media. They said sometime maybe as early as next week.
Oh wow! So okay,
they're gonna be coming up. I don't expect a sellout or anything like that, but
yeah,
better safe than sorry.
$20 $20 you probably still got some holiday money in your pocket, right?
Yeah. So, and I thought I thought this was also cool, and I talked to or messaged the company about this. I thought it was cool that, because usually when a company gets into Disney Afternoon stuff, it's, hey, I'm putting all this DuckTales stuff out there. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to complain. We love that. But they're testing the waters with Darkwing and Gargoyles, which is, I think that's a bold statement and a bold move that they're going to do a full Gargoyles collection. Mm-hmm. And they obviously know and have done their research that there's people out there that are going to buy all this stuff.
Yeah.
If everybody only knew how much the Darkwing Duck fans are out there to buy, that want to spend money. They know this year, because we're getting the Funkoverse and we're getting all this other stuff. Yeah. It's the year of Darkwing, 30th anniversary.
Yeah, could have single-handedly saved Disney Disney Infinity. Speaking of Darkwing, since it is the 30th anniversary, we are expecting to see more and more merchandise this year. Already heard some news on some things, and he also was featured by one of the artists at the Epcot International Festival of the Arts. This looked like an amazing, I'm guessing it was a print. I'm not sure, did you get your hands on one or not?
I haven't had a chance to go to the parks yet.
Okay.
It's at Epcot. I don't know if our listeners have ever been to Epcot International Festival of Arts, but it is a blast. They have tents all over the place and throughout the World Showcase area, just selling art from all these Disney artists and contracted Disney artists that you want to buy. It's all fine art. It's nice stuff. I know last year they had a couple of great things. Chris Uminga had a great Darkwing Duck print last year that I had to have. So I got that last year. And then he's back again this year, and he has a Scrooge McDuck Christmas Carol print that I was able to pick up, luckily, at Disney Springs, because they put them out early.
Oh, nice.
They shouldn't have done that. It's funny because we posted on there that it was available, and then they weren't available the next day because Chris found out and told them to pull it because he needs those for the convention, for the festival.
Yeah, I saw that happen because we were sharing. And he's like, "Wait, that's already out." And then
Yeah, and I was like,
he started asking if other stuff was out too. You were like giving
because he has a total of 4 prints, and he's like, was the Olaf one? Yeah, go look on eBay. People are selling them already. So yeah, Chris is back. Will be back there, and he has that Scrooge McDuck print from A Christmas Carol. It's awesome. I recommend it. The cool thing is, since I have the Christmas Carol one and I have the Darkwing Duck one, that's my rotation for my Christmas decoration. So where the Darkwing Duck one was, I just put up the Christmas Carol one. When Christmas was over, I just swapped it out and put Darkwing back up on the wall. Also at this, and I think this is the must-own marquee item that I'll be purchasing at the art festival this year. Darren Wilson, who is a great Disney artist, he has a series of things where of canvases that it's called the Original Collection, and he'll have what the character looked like because characters can go through a lot of changes. Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, etc. When they first premiered, this is what they look like. So this is the original Darkwing Duck art that he did, and there's 2 different editions of it. There's the really nice canvas print that's framed, and that one retails for $400. And the other one is a lot of the art at this festival, they also sell deluxe art prints that you can buy of the artwork. So it won't be the canvas, it'll be a print of it, but that one's only $40. So I definitely recommend if you're in Epcot, and unfortunately you can only get it if you go to Epcot. They're going to have these things left over, I'm sure, and sell them at like the Art of Disney stores at Disney parks afterwards. I'm not sure if you'll be able to get it online because they usually don't sell the deluxe art prints online. But we'll let you know if we ever see it at Shop Disney.
Yeah, this looks amazing. There was and I bet it was him. There's a similar Donald print that Shop Disney has often, and it's pretty pricey, but it's really cool. I love the look of this print. It looks like something that I could probably sneak up on my wall in the house, and it would stay there. Because it looks really good. I like this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy it. Pretty sure. I'm going to buy it.
As long as they're still
I'm going to buy it. I'm going to put it on the wall. And then when I get asked about it, I'm going to say that's what I bought myself for my 40th birthday.
There you go.
Which is in a couple of months.
All right, next item in the Duck merch. Gummy Bears Funko Pops. I think we've talked about this a few times.
Well, they originally were bouncing here and there everywhere at the London Toy Fair.
Back in 2017?
Yeah. No. It was last year, but it was like February, which feels like 2017.
Yeah.
So that's when Funko releases their catalog and shows what is going to, like, pre-production photos. So we saw pre-production photos of both these gummy bears, and also there's some Mighty Ducks, the live-action hockey movie. But they were canceled. They were supposed to come out in the summer, but they were kind of postponed, canceled because of COVID. Well, finally, we got real-life production photos of the Gummy Bears ones, and they are going to be released this spring at some point, which is cool because, and you know, Funko's pretty much, they've done a lot of the Disney Afternoon already, and this was an untapped source for both Funko and really Gummy Bears merchandise to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they're making the Gummy Bears in Funko form.
And a whole series. I mean, Rescue Rangers hasn't had a series. Who else hasn't had a series? I mean, we've had pretty much
Goof Troop hasn't had one.
Yeah, Goof Troop hasn't. Yeah, so it's really cool seeing Gummy Bears get those pops. Almost a full series. Do you think we'll get which one was it? Wasn't included in anything?
The Grammy is a Grammy
Bear. Yeah, Grammy Gummy.
Yeah, I don't know why she didn't get a pop, but everyone else did.
Because she's a Walmart exclusive.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, you stole my joke.
All right, and then the last item that we have in the Duck merch just says pin. I think you were going to tell us a story, a sad story.
Well, it's not sad. I mean, well, it's kind of sad. That Disney Switchboard series was recently released at Walt Disney World. It's I guess they call it and we're not pin people.
I would say we don't collect pins.
We don't collect pins. However, this is a DuckTales 2017 pin.
It's like one of 4, right?
I collect 4. Yeah, there's like 5 maybe.
5, counting the one that costs $90 to get.
Well, the event one. They had like a regular DuckTales one with Webby and the boys.
Yeah.
And then they had the soda fountain pin ones in Hollywood. Yeah. They had a Launchpad, which I still don't have, and like, yep, those are it. So this new pin series, Disney Switchboard, it's a phone related series. It's a reveal conceal series, they say, and I'm trying to use my pin lingo. So you get there's 12 pins in a series. And 6 of them come in little boxes where you can see which pin you get. And one of there's Mickey and Buzz Lightyear and Jamba from Lilo and Stitch and some 101 Dalmatians. You get the point.
Yeah.
So there's and a Kermit. And you don't get to see who they're talking to on the phone. So I was hoping, and everybody else was hoping, that Donald was talking to Della on the phone. Fortunately, we haven't got that Della pin yet. I'm sure something will happen. Della's got to sneak on some merchandise at some point. Maybe when the new thing opens up at Epcot.
That'd be nice.
But back to the pin story. So I bought the Donald Duck pin because I need to have it because it's DuckTales 2017 and it's official merch. And I was hoping, I have good luck sometimes. I was hoping when I opened the box, my pin that was concealed would be Scrooge McDuck. Because, spoiler alert, Scrooge McDuck is who Donald is talking to on the phone. And it's a really cool pin, colorful pin with Scrooge. And he has his flip phone.
The gold flip phone.
Yeah, it's really cool. I got Fozzie Bear though. Waka Waka on me.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you're gonna get a pin, if you can't go wrong with a Muppets pin.
That's right.
But I've been trying to trade it online, trying to find somebody that has the Scrooge one, so I can complete that little collection. But if you're looking for it, it's not sold online. It's a limited release, which means once they sell, I don't know how many they're not going to tell you how many they made, but once they sold out, they're not going to have them anymore. You can find them on the secondary market or like in Facebook groups or something.
Pin trading.
But I highly recommend it because, like I said, it's DuckTales 2017 merch, and there's not a lot of it.
Well, you get a lot. No. Unfortunately. Who knows? Like you said, Epcot. Maybe we get some stuff with the Epcot release. That would be cool.
It seems like once a show ends, though, for some reason, that's when they like to pump out merch.
Yeah, well, that's when they can gauge how much they think they can sell.
Like Gravity Falls pretty much didn't have anything until the show ended, and then it got like a Vinylmation collection and a Funko collection and all of this, like so many books and stuff came out afterwards. So maybe that'll happen with DuckTales.
Yeah, I mean, think about Frozen. Frozen released with no merchandise, and then merchandising for that movie went on for, 2 decades?
Right. Remember when Mandalorian came out, there was no Baby Yoda stuff?
Yeah. One of the best kept secrets of streaming services, though. All right, well, that's going to cover all of the news items and Duck merch that we have. If there's a news item that we didn't talk about that you think we should have, definitely reach out to us over on Twitter or send us an email at ducktalkspod@gmail.com. We'd love to talk with you about it, and maybe it'll make it into the next episode. As we're trying to catch up from our long hiatus, during DuckTales hiatus as we prepare for the series finale. We thought we'd take a moment, this being episode 120, we take a moment and just kind of look back on 2020 as far as DuckTales and DuckTalks, and take just a few moments to kind of talk about some of the highlights that we experienced over the year. And, 2020 started off pretty promising. We were really excited about the news of Season 3, and we knew that we were going to have Season 3 sometime in the coming year. We weren't sure exactly how long we'd have to wait, but we knew it was coming. It had that amazing poster that we'd all seen that very few of us had, and which you still can't find unless you want a silk print. What's up with that? Why are they only doing it on a silk print? Somebody, get us posters out there so that we can get our hands on some. Anyway, our year started off amazing. The first week, I think it was like January 5th, we put out a podcast episode where we had the pleasure of interviewing Gray Delisle Griffin. And I tell you, that was one of those moments where I couldn't believe who we had on the phone with us, and that we had an opportunity to speak with another just amazing voice actor who has so many roles that they've brought to life. And she was a lot of fun. We talked about Three Caballeros, the Legend of the Three Caballeros, and her role in that show. And it was a fun conversation, and I thought it was a great start to the year.
Yeah, she's the redhead from Pirates, so I remember geeking out about that a little bit.
Yeah, that was a fun day. And I think we recorded that in like the middle of the day. We both took off work to talk with her. Also, another thing we wanted to bring up about 2020 is we still had DuckTales comics at the beginning of 2020. I think the last issue of Fairs and Scares might have been in like February of 2020. So we started the year, we were a little uncertain about DuckTales comics, but we still had them coming out at that point. And we didn't have confirmation that it was over. And of course the trades continued for a little bit longer as they rolled out. But one of the things that we've covered with DuckTalks over the last few years has been the comics. And I think that was some of the most fun that I had when it came to reviews and, being just watching for when the issues were going to be coming out and reading them on my breaks at work so that I could do a review. I thought that was a lot of fun. I missed the comics. I really enjoyed those. And then being able to, I always got 2 issues, one for me and then one for the girls. And I'd hand them one when I got home that day, and they'd get excited about it. And they still have them stacked up next to their bed. It was a lot of fun. I like having, Disney Duck comics that are produced in the U.S., not just reprints of stuff that's been released in years past in other countries. I thought that was cool, and I would love for us to see more of that in the future. I know there's another IDW series. We didn't really talk about this. There's another IDW Uncle Scrooge series that may be happening. There was a leak for a cover, and I think the issue is said to be coming out in March, but we don't have a lot of details on that yet. So need to do some digging and maybe get a blog together for that. But yeah, I'd love to see some more of that. Love IDW. They were a great company. I know they had a really rough 2019 and 2020. Yeah, we'll see what happens with Disney Duck Comics in 2021.
There's a lot of great Fantagraphics, like reprint collection books coming out this year, so I'm not worried about having something to read. But yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to if they had some kind of DuckTales stuff. The Disney Disney Adventures book comes out in the summer. Yeah,
that'll be a great buy. It wasn't until April before we got the beginning of season 3, which was really great timing because that was when the world was getting very scary for a lot of us. And having those episodes in April was something to look forward to when we weren't getting out much. And so we started off the season with some really great episodes. I mean, we couldn't stop gushing over how amazing each of these episodes were. They were a lot of fun. They were innovative. They were something we hadn't seen before. I mean, when I think about these, Challenge of the Senior Junior Woodchucks was a lot of fun, but then we had Quack Pack, which was just a wild and zany episode that my kids say is one of their favorite episodes. Louie's 11 was just a fun adventure that introduced Daisy for us. And then we had Astro Boy, which I think, as far as animation goes, was one of the heights of the series. So a lot of really great episodes that came out back to back at a regular schedule with Disney XD, instead of getting 8 episodes at one time and then not getting any episodes for a few months. We had weeks of episodes, and that was really great. And then, of course, in 2020, we had our 100th episode of DuckTalks, and it was a live episode. 100 episodes. We were surprised at 100 episodes. I was surprised at 100 episodes, and with all the people who have been listening from the beginning, and even those who had just recently started listening, it was a lot of fun to do that live episode where we got on Discord and just talked for hours and hours, and allowed people to come on and talk with us. It was a lot of fun. It was one of the most memorable moments of doing the podcast. It took place in 2020.
I like the episode where Dan Cunningham took us on the journey of the comics.
Oh yeah, I recommend that episode not because we did it, but because of all the knowledge Dan had.
Yeah, history lesson for sure.
Yeah, and I probably cut a lot of this out, but he would apologize from time to time because he would talk and we weren't saying anything or asking questions, and we were all like, no, listen, we don't want to take up any of your time. We want to hear what you have to say. I thought it was very interesting, and especially for someone who was in 2020, 2019, the last few years, new to those classic comics and starting to learn about it. Anytime I'd walk into, it's really sad because I haven't been able to go to a convention since we've had this conversation, but anytime I'd go into a comic convention and I'd try looking through those back issues, I had no idea what was an early print, or what was the 4th or 5th time it was printed, what company. That was all very confusing. So that's a fun episode. I don't have the episode number here to tell people where to go. Do you remember which one that was? Check it out. Just do a search over on the website. But I'll make it easy for you. Show notes, there'll be a link to it. Check that out. That was a great episode. Also, we had the 30th anniversary of the DuckTales movie. And that was another one where we had Dan on with us. Dan had mentioned it to us. He said that it would be a great time to do a podcast on the movie because of the anniversary. And we were like, you know what? Why don't you just come on and do it? And he was obliged, and we had a great conversation about the movie. And that'd be another great one to check out. That was episode 106, so it wasn't long after that 100th episode. As the year moved on, it was September when we got the last bunch of episodes. Well, not the last, because we had another bunch of episodes in October and November. But we had the push to Let's Get Dangerous. I mean, even the promo image of this had St. Canard on it, and we had a lot of amazing episodes coming up. We finally had that Halloween episode that we've known about for over a year, and it was exciting getting ready for Darkwing Duck, and man, that episode was just amazing. It's out there on YouTube. If you've not seen it, you can watch it. And then another really fun moment for us on the podcast, and that made my list anyway, of highlights of 2020 was when we got to speak with Jason Marsden. Jason was someone that I reached out to pretty early on in Duck Talks to see if he'd be interested in coming on and talking about a Goofy movie. And it was really cool to finally have that happen and to be able to sit down and talk with him. And I know when I edited that episode, I felt like it was a train wreck, just because for us, most of the time we do a pretty good job of interviewing and just asking questions and allowing the guests to talk. But in that one, I don't know. We just had such a fun time. It ended up becoming just a conversation, and it became very difficult to edit. But we had a lot of fun on with Jason. I think he's going to come on again. We had talked about that, and it'd be fun to catch up with him and see what's going on. When we spoke with him, I think it's funny because we wanted to talk about a Goofy movie, but I don't think we talked about a Goofy movie all that much. In fact, at one point he said, "Are we going to talk about a Goofy movie?" But Hocus Pocus, it was near Halloween. And so we were talking about Hocus Pocus being on Disney Plus, and at that time my kids weren't willing to watch it, but we decided to watch it around Halloween. And I promise you, P has watched that episode 20 plus times since October. She recites it. She walks around acting out parts of the movie. And when we were doing something just a couple weeks ago, and I mentioned, I said, I spoke with Beaks on DuckTalks, and she said, "No, you're kidding," and it just blew her mind. And she said, "Did you talk about me?" And I said, "Yeah, actually, I told him you were afraid to watch it." And so yeah, she's begging me to have him back on so she can talk to him. But that was a fun episode. Max Goof and so many other characters. Everybody's best friend from TGIF when we were kids. That was a lot of fun. 2020 for DuckTalks was a lot of fun. It was a crazy year. I don't think we quite did as much podcasting as we wanted to do. I don't think we did everything that we had hoped to do. But man, looking back on it, as far as podcasting goes, it was a pretty good year. By every other category, it was a dumpster fire, and we're glad it's over. Right. But we'll see what 2021 brings. We've got some plans for the next little bit, and we've got episodes of DuckTales coming at some point, possibly next month. We should find out within a few days, maybe even before this episode gets out there. The leak for the February highlights should be out this week. I actually was kind of surprised it isn't already out. Usually there's a few outlets that will get their hands on it a week before it's released, and it should be released around the 20th. So be on the lookout for that. We should be finding out soon whether or not we're getting DuckTales next month. I know there's a lot of talk online. People think that one of the other series will have their finale first. I don't remember which one. There's a lot of talk about that, but someone at Disney Television Animation, someone who said they were from Disney Television Animation, told the internets that the show would be back around President's Day, which is a Monday. So that actually would make sense if they're going to continue on that Monday release schedule. And man, I hope they don't. But anyway, I think that's it for this week. Pirate, you got anything else?
No, let's have a good 2021.
Yeah.
I know we got a lot of fun plans. We can get some celebrity interviews on here. Got to have Dan back.
Yeah.
Talk some comics. I want to hear the history of the Duck comics from International. So we need to get that episode rolling.
Oh man, now, internationally they've ran for like how many decades now? So I don't know that we could do that in one episode.
It's fine. Get multiple episodes. Good. But yeah, it's gonna be a great year. We're gonna it's gonna be an expensive year. We already talked about all the Duck merch.
This is the first podcast episode. Think about all the money we've already talked about.
So much money, man. Save the stimulus checks. Might need them. But yeah, good times.
Good times. All right. Well, until next time.
Stay dangerous and Glomgold.
And you can do it.